Hi, welcome to my walkthrough of weekly challenge number 4. If we take a look at weekly challenge number 4, this one is called date parsing. So I'll just bring this up on the screen. So what we're looking here now is we've got a data set that contains a text field which has a date embedded within the text. The problem is that the date is represented in a few different ways. For example, you've got 16th of April 2005 with the day, month, year split on a hyphen. You've got November 16th, 1990, so you've got the month, then the days, a comma, and then the years. So the goal of this challenge is to create a new consistent date field. So we're going to use a new tool here. We're going to use the regex tool, and we're going to use a resource called regex101.com just to basically walk you through how regex works. So let's now move over and take a look at what this looks like as a challenge. So if we look at our input data, I'll just expand this out and go to right on the screen. What we can see is our input data has several records where the dates are in here. So we've got the 16th of April 2005, we've got 9th of January 1856, then we've got our November 16th 1990 example, and I'm not going to go through all of these, but what you can then see is that the date appears in different locations throughout the string, and it's quite difficult to sort of parse this out. So this is where the regex tool comes into use. So if we just close that and go back to here. So what we're going to do first of all is we just add in a record ID so we keep our dates ordering consistent. So bring that one in, and then we're going to bring in the regex tool. And there's a couple of options under here. What we want to do is we want to parse out data from field 1. So just click on here, click the selection. So we want to, the column we want to parse is field 1. The regular expression that we want to use is quite long, so I'm just going to use a little cheat because I've got this written out already, and paste that into here. It's going to be a case insensitive, so it doesn't matter if it's upper or lowercase. And what we want to do is parse that out. So what we can see is that it's identified there's 4 groups of patterns that we want to identify, and it will parse that out. So if we just run this, what we can see is in record 1, it's identified the date 16th of April 2005. And we've now got our 4 columns, so we've got kind of different patterns of dates in each of these columns. So what we'll do briefly here is we'll just move over to regex 101 just to walk you through what these regular expressions are actually doing. So what I've done here on this website is you can put in a test string. So I've already put in that first field, that first record, and we can see that 16th of April date. What regular expressions do is identify patterns. So the pattern we're looking for, you start it off with an open bracket to say this is the start of the pattern, and what we're looking for is we're looking for a digit followed by another digit followed by a hyphen, and then we're looking for some characters. But what I'll just do is I'll just close that out just so you can see what it's done so far, and on the screen here you can see that we've picked out 16th of April and the hyphen, sorry, 16th and the hyphen. So we'll just expand this out. So the next bit we want to look for is we want to look for our like letters. So you do this using alpha, and this means that it will basically match on any alphabetical character, and that's a lowercase or uppercase characters A through to Z, and we want to find 3 lots of those. So if we just expand that out, we can now see that we've identified 16th of April. We want to find another hyphen here, and then we want dates. So we're just going to put in 4 digits, and then we can find that pattern. Just to kind of show you how this works and how you can expand it slightly. It's worked perfectly for that date because it's expecting 2 characters, then a hyphen, 3 alphabetical characters, a hyphen, and then 4 digits for the year. If we were to add into this test string an extra date and say we wanted the 6th of Jan 19, it hasn't found that pattern there because it doesn't match what we've got in the group. So what you can do here is you can modify this slightly. So if you do your \d and put a plus, what that will do is find matches of one or more of that character, and then at the same on the end, we won't necessarily always have 4 digits for the date, and so if we just do \d and then a plus, it will find one or more. So you can now see that it's identified those 2 dates there. In the Alteryx, we're looking for 4 different patterns. So this top one is essentially the pattern that I've just walked through. The other ones are a digit, hyphen, characters, and then the year, so kind of like an alternative. And then other ones there are, we're looking for an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, a space, and then some digits. So that deals with the ones where it's like November 5th, in particular, and then a comma. So I was able to identify all those different patterns by just looking at the data. If you look on websites like Stack Overflow, you can use sort of regex for parsing out things like postcodes, and people will post the sort of regular expression there to kind of find all the matches. So there's like quite common posts for sort of like all of the UK postcodes where you know that the first character in a postcode can only be a certain set of characters. The regular expression will kind of match those perfectly. So now we've got this, the next bit we want to do, just moving back to Alteryx, is we now need to combine these 4 columns that it's created into one field. I'm going to do that with a formula tool. Sorry, first of all we need to actually clean them up. So I'm going to use a formula tool to do a bit of cleaning up, because if we look down this first column here, we can see 16th of April matches fine, but actually we've got something here which is 27th of June 70, so it's not quite the same length. So we want to clean this one up. So what we'll do here is we'll just, same as before, I'll just copy some formulas that I've already got. So the first formula here cleans up the first field, second field, third one, and lastly the fourth one. That's on column 4. Just run that. What we can see is we've cleaned them up. So if we looked at what we had here, we had the 27th of June 70, and the cleaned up version is 27th of June 1970. What the formula here is doing is saying, okay, well the length of that value in that field is not equal to 11. We'd expect if you had 2 dates, a month and a 4-digit year, that they'd all be 11 characters long. So what it's doing is saying, okay, does it start less than 10, then it will be 20, so year 2010, etc. And then if it's less than 10, then it's going to be 1900s and something, and passing that out. Now we need to turn our data around just to collapse those 4 columns into one. So we're going to do that with a transpose. And we've got our key fields, which are going to be our record ID, and we'll just keep field 1 in here for now. And then our data fields are regex out 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll run that one. And we can see now we've got our dates. And now we want to filter out kind of the values where we don't have any dates. So let's take the ones that aren't empty. So we can see now we've got our 17 records. And if we go to our original input data, we had 17 records there. And now we want to use the date time tool to clean this up. So under parse, we've got date time. So this is going to convert our value field into date time out. And if we look at the format of it, it's day hyphen month hyphen year, which is going to be is it in that list? No, so we can specify a particular format. So we want day hyphen month hyphen year. Run that. Then we've got a new field here which is in a date format. Now once we've got that, we now just need to clean the data up. So we just use a select tool. Let's just see what the output data is called. So we've got field 1 and date timeout. So if we just take field 1 and date timeout, run that, our output data now matches our input, and we can just use the crew macro expect equal just to confirm our answer. Run that, and we get no errors. So we've matched that now. So I hope you found that one useful. It was a more advanced challenge using regular expressions. There's lots of weekly challenges that would use regex, so encourage you to practice and use that resource regex 101 to understand how you're building out your patterns. And if you have any further questions, reach out to me at Chris Datablog. Thank you.